All right, welcome to another week of the Coaches Show, Week 11.
Like
Boy,
that.
that's nice to say. Doesn't that
Yeah.
have a nice ring to it?
That's good.
Week 11 of Greenback football. Fun fact, only the 13th time in the history of Greenback
Wow.
football that they've still been playing in Week 11. So congratulations to you,
Yeah.
Coach Holting. Thank you, as always, for sitting down and chatting Greenback football with us. What a win Friday night, 35-14 over Hugoton, and capture a regional championship.
Yeah, a lot
Floor's
of fun.
yours.
A lot of fun. Really proud of our kids and obviously 35-14, we allowed that one late and really had a couple opportunities inside their 20 we didn't score. Thought we controlled the game. Really proud of our physicality and how our kids came out. Came out, they deferred and we thought we had a shot play with the way they played coverage. We talked about it all week and hey, Cade, you're going to be open here if that corner comes down at all. And everyone did exactly their job. Crescent put a nice ball on him. I thought us scoring first was huge. I don't know if they'd been behind, but not that quickly. And I think 20 is the most they'd allowed all year points wise. So really proud of our kids, really proud of our defense, offense, how they stepped up, special teams, all of it.
Yeah, you talked about scoring quick. It was the fourth play of the game, and it was Poor to Liggett. Poor picking up right where he left off. He had 5 touchdowns the week before, has 3 Friday night, and that 59-yarder to Liggett. It was kind of like, all right, here we go. Opening kickoff, the Greenbacks able to put the first points on the board, and that is huge in a game like that. With that magnitude, everybody's coming out, amped up, pins and needles. You wonder how it's go, and be able to strike first and then let your defense go out there and play with a lead from that point on is huge.
Right. Like you said, I think it allows you to settle in. Everyone's so amped up and we talk about it all the time. Like just be you, be excited. That's awesome. But play, don't let the moment get to you in a good way or a bad way. Anyway, just be you and play football the way you know how to play it. And I thought our kids did that. Thought they executed the game plan exceptionally. We got lined up right, got in our checks, made some really good checks offensively when we needed to. So, yeah, just really proud of our kids and how they're playing this time of year.
And then piggybacking off that first score of the game, the defense comes out, and Hugoton, an impressive backfield all season. Godardo and Hernandez, I believe, in the backfield have been trouble for most of the teams they've faced, and they go out and force a 3-and-out on the opening series, get the ball right back, and it's like, okay, you got the offense doing what they needed to do. Defense is taking care of business, and they just played lights out all night.
They did. Unfortunately, that was one of the blemishes of the night. We went down, got inside, had a penalty, and got inside the 20 and didn't score. Dropped the ball on fourth down. But then we were able to get another stop. Then we come down and score, and then we score again for half, and so I thought that was huge. Our kids, they're a tough bunch. This bunch they've been so much fun to coach because where we came from week one. We weren't a great football team week one.
A lot of questions after week one.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions from me. In terms of what are we going to be, and I thought we got back to basics. This group's been so good about being coachable, picking each other up, being great teammates, and they just continue to get better and better. And so I told them, like, you've earned this shot. This is a lot of fun. This is what you dream about your whole life, and so enjoy every moment and go out and play your butts off.
You mentioned that lead at half. Kind of a game within a game once the game gets started is that 4 minutes going into halftime and the 4 minutes coming out of halftime. It's almost its own little separate quarter that if you can win that time frame, you're sitting pretty good. The Greenbacks able to score 14 points within that time frame, the 4 minutes going into half, and then you come right back out of half, put up another point on the board. How big was it to be able to book into that halftime with multiple touchdowns?
Well, what you talked about, we score right before half. Thought that was huge. Our passing game, Crescent was incredible. Again, he's hot right now, throwing the football and peaking at the right time, finding everybody, and we're playing off each other so well. I thought that was huge to score, and then come down, and I thought one of the big plays of the game, Griffin Giggy doesn't give up. They broke free on the kickoff, tracks him down, tackles him, and then Kyler Barker rips it, and we get a fumble recovery the next play. Then we go down and score 28-0, and then when you're up 28-0, all of a sudden you're it's one of those, man, that you feel good, but then you're like, gosh, is time moving slow? like let's get this thing rolling. And then they went on that huge long.
That was the longest drive I've seen. I think it was a 21-play, over 10 minutes time of possession drive, longest I've seen this season.
Yeah, I thought we had a couple times where we had them stopped on fourth down. Unfortunately,
we all
didn't get the spot. But again, at least we didn't give up a big play. We made them earn it, take a lot of time off the clock. they score, we're able to come down, score again, and effectively end the ball game. So really, really proud of our kids. Like you said, I thought they played lights out defensively for the most part all night. That quarterback's really, really good. He scrambles around, finds open people. He is tough. He's quick. He's physical. He's a really good football player. So I thought our kids' attention to him. I can't remember exactly what his rushing yards were and all that, but I know he didn't have many, and I know he held him below 200 total yards. So great defensive effort.
Yeah, I didn't see any final game stats on the Hugoton side of things, but we talked about that long drive. At that point, the luxury of having that 4-score lead is you'll trade 10 minutes off the time of possession for 7 points with that lead. That to me, that's a fair trade-off.
Sure, you never want to score.
No.
We wanted to stop them, but like you said, it's very slowly matriculated down the field. Took a ton of time off, got into the fourth quarter, and then when you're up 28-0, when it turns into the fourth quarter, you feel really good.
Yep.
You feel really good about things. So I thought our kids did a good job of even on a great drive for them, we made them earn every inch of it.
Yeah, and they did. And boy, a couple of those inches.
It was tough.
That it was. We'll leave it at that. Go down some offensive stats on that ball game. We mentioned Poor. He was 8 of 12 on the night, 198 yards, 3 touchdowns. Liggett, a big night from him, and what a blessing to have him back on the field after missing the week before. 21 carries, over 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And then Cox, Strong, and Liggett all on the receiving end of those 3 touchdowns from Poor. One of the few games we didn't see Morrell get into the end zone, but still a huge game. He led the team with 3 catches, 60 yards, and had a monster game on defense as well.
Right. And what we did though, it's one of those things. It's kind of the hockey assist almost. We set so much stuff up using Arlie. They were shading him. They were double, tripled almost sometimes with him. Still able to get 60 yards, but they were paying so much attention to him, it opened up everyone else. And I thought our guys did a good job of playing off of him. Crescent did a good job of looking him off, hitting, like you said. We scored 35 points, had 3 different receivers catch a touchdown, and one of them wasn't Arlie. So credit to Arlie. That's all he wants to do is win, but thought he did a really good job of to be quite honest, we set a lot of stuff up for him being a decoy on Friday night. He did a great job of it, and our other guys did a great job of getting open and making plays.
Yeah, they did. And then on the defensive side of things, another stellar performance from the Greenback defense. Josiah Schmidt, 9 tackles, 1.5 tackles for loss. I thought he had a great game on that front four, and I don't know how many times we said Madden Wilson's name as well.
Yeah, Josiah, Madden were awesome. You mentioned Josiah's stats. Madden just gets better and better. I mean, he's tough to move in there. I mean, he's just a big, strong kid. He's gotten better at seeing, anchoring. Kyler Barker, I don't know if you have him down, had 17
tackles. I hadn't gotten to him yet. One, and the forced fumble of the night, too, came from Barker. Barker, who was leading the team already in tackles. What a big night.
Impressive. And a lot of that, we get in that tower look sometimes, and Luke does a great job of occupying, so he's kind of our unsung hero we talk about. I mean, Luke fills every gap. Takes on the lead blocker, does all that stuff. Kyler's so good at running free instinctually. So, like you said, you mentioned several guys. It was just a total team effort.
Yeah, and then Strong with the lone interception on the night. That one, although the score was pretty wide apart at that point, it felt like a big interception at that time. Hugoton was trying to put something together, and then Strong just doing what he's done so many times in center field, doing it on the football field Friday night.
No, I thought it was a big one. You mentioned again. Well, we drove down. They scored 28-7. We drove down, and then we didn't score. Now, there wasn't a ton of time, but we drove down there, and they could have got within 2 scores, and Caleb picks off the very next pass. Then we go down and score, make it 35-7, and end the game. So Caleb always makes big plays. He's always in the right spot. I mean, he's so stinking athletic. He doesn't know how athletic he is sometimes, but he's made so many big plays for us this year, whether it be in the receiving game or in the defensive backfield. He's the kid we put on everyone's best receiver every game. So a ton of credit to him. I mean, he's a smart, heady ball player who's a really good athlete, which adds up to good things.
And talk about that matchup, then another player on the defensive side that had a big impact. The Hudson Titus matchup going against his old hometown team. I think we mentioned it on the broadcast, but he knew every single face on the other side of the line. And, we talked about the Titus family and them just being such a great asset to the Greenback community and the sports programs, but the community as a whole. But a big game for him to get that win against his hometown team.
And that's always tough. We talked about it all week. Huddy was really even keel, really calm. And just, obviously there's a little extra there, and he knew everybody, talked to him before the game, after the game. So really happy for Huddy. I mean, because the kid has come in, he works his tail off. He's an A+ human being. and he's a heck of a football player. I mean, he's our kid that we talk about sometimes bar alley fights. Who you going to take back there with you? Like Huddy's that kid. Like he's a tough kid. He doesn't back down from anybody. Coach Titus, you mentioned him. He's invaluable to me, to our kids, our staff. He's just an incredible person. Not just his incredible coach, but as a mentor, as a guiding hand. Our kids are so blessed to have him. I'm so blessed to have him on staff with me. And then they're, Jenny is awesome. I know, awesome addition. I know my kids love her, and everybody loves her, and just great supportive people that you're like, man, we are so lucky to get this family and move in our community. So was really happy for him. I know it's never easy going
tough
against your friends, but was really happy for our team. But also, there's a little extra there, happy for those guys.
Yeah, talk with some more stats on that ball game. These are more career stats, but Poor able to get over 1,000 yards in that ball game for the season. So that puts him second consecutive year over 1,000 passing yards and moves him into second, I believe, all time in the career yards for him, and touchdowns in a season. I was going through them as well, too. Only one touchdown shy of tying the most touchdowns in a season. He's got 17 on the season. 18 was the record held by Jason Beffert back in 1992. So Poor pretty close to hitting that one. And then you've got Liggett, who got over 1,000 yards in that ball game. I think the theme here is this is an explosive offense that you've got from your greenbacks. And Morrell continues to just climb up that career receiving yards list as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it there, that we got a lot of different weapons. We want to spread the ball around. I think what's made us so much different this year is that threat. You talk about our passing game has developed so much, and a lot of that's credit to Creston. I mean, he sees it so well. He's playing really, really good. We had a little early in the season lull, and man, he has been awesome the last 6, 7, 8 weeks. He's just been incredible. Creston's just, and you talk about those people, you want great things to happen to great people, and there's no better person than Creston Poor. Everyone saw the Sports in Kansas, him cleaning up, but that's who Creston is every day. Stays after, watch kids. Stayed on the junior high sideline, watching those games, being a mentor to those kids, staying on the JV sideline. I mean, he's just a great kid, and he's meant so much to our program over the last 4 years that it's awesome seeing him, climb those career charts.
Yeah, it's been fun to watch him throughout his career. All right, let's get on to some awards from the night. We're going to start with our Timish Electric Player of the Game. Couple different options. Again, you had Poor, the 3-touchdown night, close to 200 yards through the air. He had a big one, but I thought with the presence of Cade Liggett back in the backfield for the Greenbacks, going over 200 yards on the ground, Cade Liggett took home our Timish Electric Player of the Game.
You guys are going to have to split it like we do next year.
I know. We're going to have to go offensive and defensive, I feel like, just to show the respect that's deserved by some of these performances.
Right. And that's why we did it, split it, because, man, it's tough sometimes. We mentioned Special Teams Player of the Week. Was that, I thought that play by Griffin Gigi was huge. You could have gave up, scored a touchdown. Thought Aiden Lesher was awesome, 2 freshmen on special teams, but I thought Griffin's play was huge. Tracked down, didn't give up. That's a tough place for a freshman to be. So we gave him our Special Teams Player of the Week. Our Scout Team Player of the Week, it's funny you mentioned the Timish Electric Player of the Week, is Max Timish. Max does a great job, gives us a great look. He's a kid that's going to be a really good football player. Unfortunately for him, there's a lot of years he probably would be playing for us, but he's got a lot of guys in front of him right now that are pretty dang good. But Max throws a good ball. Improves throughout the year, and Max is a competitor, and he gives us a great look every week on Scout Team. Defensive Player of the Week, you mentioned several, but thought Kyler Barker was all over the field.
I mean, tough to argue with 17 tackles.
And the forced fumble was so big. He's gotten so good at ripping those. I thought he was incredible, as he has been all season. He's not the biggest guy, but, man, he's got a big heart. He's awesome. And then you said it offensively, could have went a few different ways, but I thought Cade had the best game he's had in his career.
Yep.
And not just from a number standpoint, how physical he ran, how he hit the hole. He was taking people 2-3 extra yards every single play. And Cade, we know how special he is as an athlete, but when he runs like that with the chip on his shoulder, we're a different football team, and thought we saw that Cade on Friday night.
Yeah, he really looked good on the ground. Moving on to the Mead Lumber hit stick of the game. This was a game we didn't see a lot of them. The week before, I think we had 4 or 5 we were trying to sort through that we saw from the press box. Friday night, we didn't see the clear-cut hit stick of the week, so we went with Madden Wilson. I felt like I was saying his name quite a bit from the pressure he was putting on Godardo and Hernandez in the backfield, and it was more of an overall defensive effort than a standalone hit stick of the week.
With ours, we didn't have to wait very long. It was literally on the opening kickoff. And Madden had a great game and did some great things. And I think it was tough because to be quite honest, it's harder to get hit stick when your D-line bottles them up so much that at the point of attack, you don't get those kill shots, so to speak. So thought we did, but I told him it was the first award in his non-illustrious career. But Arlie Morrell, he hammered a kid.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one.
Yeah, he decleated a kid on the first kickoff, so got his first ever hit stick.
Well, just add it to the trophy
yeah,
case for
yeah.
him.
I told him, I was like, that's really kind of the only thing you've done in your career,
Yeah.
I mean,
As we just rattled off career records.
yeah.
And then Farm Bureau fan of the game. It was the first time this season. We've seen it in years past when they do it. And the Liberty Middle School student section, they'll fill up that ramp. They call it the swamp over there.
Yeah.
And they had that filled up. Blackout was the theme for the night, and it was lined and littered with LMS students
Well, that was awesome.
and loud as can be. In fact, I heard Kyler Barker say after the game that they missed one of their checkdowns when they were in that side of the end zone because it was so loud from that middle school section.
Well, that's what happened on the last touchdown. They missed one. They said they couldn't hear. So, but no, that was awesome. Shout out to those guys and Miss Thompson at Liberty Middle School for organizing that. That's awesome. Our kids love that. I think it's great for them. And I told a bunch of those kids when I saw them this week, like, hey, you're next. You see how fun this is. Like, this is what you got to look forward to, and you put in the work. And so, yeah, that was a lot of fun. I told you, man, I'm just telling you, Cannon listens every week. He's like, man, what's Cody? Like, is he not watching me on the sidelines? My son Cannon. So it's hilarious. He's like, what do I got to do? He's like, I'm going crazy.
Maybe we're saving the best for last.
No,
Kevin.
I don't know. But no, they were awesome. They were awesome.
Yep.
The energy they brought and the noise. I mean, our kids told us, like, man, we can have that and we can't hear anything. So that was really cool. Really, really fun.
Yeah, neat to see them putting on their Greenback fandom on display. All right, that's going to wrap it up for the Friday night recap of that Hugoton game. And now a big week. We mentioned the first time making it to week 11 in your coaching career here for the Greenbacks. It was your first regional championship as well, so congratulations on that, Coach. But making the road trip over east to take on the beast that is the Andale Indians. 0-3 against Andale. You have faced them a handful of times. No success to this point. And everybody, you don't have to hype them up any. I don't got to build them up. Everybody around the state knows how dominant and how impressive Coach Dylan Schmidt has done over there in that football program. I mean, it is the bar. That is what every program around the state wants to reach. But you want to have your shot at them as well. Every season, if it doesn't end with them, getting by them or playing them, you always wonder, man, I wish we would have got our shot at them just to see what we could do. And you never know. Every now and then, I think the year can happen. Could this year be the year for the Greenbacks? I'm cautiously optimistic is what I told you. And
Yeah, you haven't watched as much game film as I have.
No, and that's why. Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Now, Coach Schmidt does a great job over there, and all their coaches. I mean, it's a factory. They are, you said it, they're the gold standard of Kansas programs. They do a great job, and what's so impressive is how hard they get their kids to play and how physical. I mean, they got 11 dudes on the field at one time that fly to the football, and they're going to hit you in the mouth every play, no matter what happens. And they're so hard. They don't give up big plays. They're so fundamentally sound, and then they chunk yard big plays because it takes, if you don't have 11 guys flying to the football and being physical, they're going to get an opening and then they're going to take it to the house. The Harp kid is, they got tons of good ball players. He's a special kid, one of the best I've seen.
Yep.
At any time. They do a great job of scheming it up, getting him out in the open, and when he gets out in the open, I mean, he's got another gear. So nothing but respect for them. They're a really good football team. We know they're the gold standard. It's one of those, like you said, we think, man, we're one of the very best teams in the state. Obviously, there's only 8 left, but we think we're that upper tier, and obviously they're the gold standard. You're wishing maybe you were playing them a little farther down the line, but that's that's the way it is. It's going to be a big time matchup. Our kids are going to work really hard. They're going to come out and compete their butts off. They're going to represent Pratt well, and that's all you can ask. And like you said, we're going to go there. Our kids aren't going to back down from anybody. We're going to fight for 48 minutes, and we'll see what happens.
Yep, I think it should be a great game. Should be an easy drive for Pratt fans if you're out there watching. A nice trip over to Andale this Friday night. Should be a heck of a matchup as the 9-1 Greenbacks will take on the 10-0 Andale Indians to see who moves on to that sub-state championship ball game. Coach, as always, appreciate your time, and we'll talk to you post-game.
Thank you.
All right, that's head coach Brent Holting.